On today's expose, let's talk Graydon Creed. This guy is a fucking asshole. I hate him.
Me too.
So, he first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 299 in April of 1993. He was created by Scott Lobdell, who was famously writing the X-Men in most of the 90s. And much like we learn in this episode, he is the son of Victor Creed, Sabretooth, and Mystique. So there's no cool story to go with this except for Mystique was like, hey, I'm going to go kill this bitch, Lenny Zauber, and I'm going to take her place and pretend I'm a German spy, which Lenny Zauber was. And so she was on a mission with Sabretooth, and she was kind of like, hey, this guy's pretty fucking hot. I'm going to go sleep with him. She got pregnant. And then she didn't want Victor to know who she was ever, so she faked her own death as Lenny Zauber. So Sabretooth does not know he slept with Mystique and does not know he had a kid with her.
Oh, God.
So
wasn't she, I thought she was Austrian, not German.
For this little adventure, she was in Germany. She's basically lived just as, or I don't know, as long as Wolverine, but she's lived a long life because later on it was found out that she can regenerate her organs to be younger. So she's basically invincible.
I want whatever she's having.
Exactly.
So he's completely mortal, no powers.
Yes, he's completely just a normal person, even with that parentage.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say he's a bit eccentric. So,
yeah.
Power is dramatic, angry screaming.
Exactly. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy because he was given up for adoption. When he found out his parents were mutants, it caused him to hate mutants, which is why he started the Friends of Humanity. But it gets even crazier than that because he killed Irene Adler. Do we remember Irene?
Oh, yes.
Destiny!
I think she was an expose a few episodes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
He killed her, I think it was her grandson or nephew. I'm trying to see if I could find it again here. But because he killed Irene's nephew, somebody assassinated Graydon Creed while he was running for, get this, president. And for years, it was a mystery of who killed him. But in the early 2000s, there was something called X-Men Forever where they tied up loose ends. And it turned out that a time-displaced Mystique went back to the past and killed her own son for killing her wife's nephew.
I'm not going to mess with the temporal dynamics because I think I would probably screw up everything, much like kind of happens in the Flash, which isn't a spoiler. It's in the trailers. So
okay. Well, yeah, that's part of the whole origin story for the movie, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Graydon Creed, he wasn't around too long either. He got killed in the early 2000s. He's kind of popped up here or there as he had the techno-organic virus put onto his corpse, which reanimated him for a time. He was also kind of a zombie in Hunt for Wolverine, but he was just kind of a very narrow window in the mid-90s to the early 2000s.
I go where I want to go. Jean.
Scott.
Jean?
Scott. I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants! There's always more gators in the bayou.
Don't get a boomer.
All right, welcome to this week's Solving for X. My name is Sean. I'm the ultimate excavationist.
And I'm something of an X fan myself, Kevin.
And that beautiful third voice you heard with us is one that you should recognize from pretty much all of our shows and as already being a guest on this show. Hi, Ryan Terry from Florida. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. In fact, one could say that I'm ecstatic to be here.
Stop.
No, but again, seriously, thanks so much for having me back on the show. It's always a pleasure sitting down with you two, and thanks for bringing me just wonderful shows to my car on my commute. And I, just look forward to it every week. And I'm, couldn't imagine a weekly commute without you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing us Forza Crowd, a scripted kind of little radio drama that I had the chance to be a part of. So that's something that our listeners should go check out, Forza Crowd.
Yes, and I'm trying to finish up editing the last couple of episodes, but I need somebody to play a male love interest. And everybody I ask just isn't really interested. It's like, it's all there. The show is all recorded except for this guest voice. And all I need is somebody to record this guest voice. And then I could get to editing the show. But I haven't. So if any of the listeners here fancy themselves a voice actor or just want to have fun, because it's an unpaid gig. I'm not even going to promise you that bullshit IMDb credit that every short film thinks is going to actually lure people to work on it. But no money, but it's fun and it's something that you can share with your friends. And really, it would probably require, I don't know, a half hour, maybe an hour of your time. So if you're interested, hit up the guys here at Solving for X or Marvel's Galaxy at Disney or Words of the Witches, whichever show you listen to regularly. It all goes the same mailbox. And there's no because it's quote radio. So if you think that if you're not camera ready, that's totally fine. That's why I just do podcasting and radio.
Stop it.
But if you're interested, hit the guys up, or you could hit me up on Twitter and send you the script. You record your lines, send it back to me. We could sit down and do it over Skype or whatever. I just need somebody to do, you got a little bit of talent. I don't need a talentless hack, but if you've got a little bit of talent, we can definitely throw some Miracle Grow on it and we can make it work. And would love to have you on the show.
You'll find someone now. Now that you've come on our show, we'll have somebody bite, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, if you want me to do it, I'm here.
Actually, I think I reached out to you one time, and I don't remember you getting back with me. So, but
I thought I did. I thought I said sure, and then I disappeared.
Well, sure. But if you want to, just if you want to, I'll send you the script. But yeah, and I may have a couple other smaller voices in the last episode. I haven't read the script in a while, but I just love just bringing people together to have fun. And even though the show only lasted a couple of seasons, had a lot of fun doing it. Learned a lot. And it still gets downloaded, so I'm just hoping that somewhere, at some time, it's making people laugh, because we definitely need more laughter in our lives.
Yes, amen, brother, sister, white chocolate, definitely. So one of the things that you pointed out, Ryan, about why you wanted to come on the show and what kind of attracted you to this episode is the portrayal of Nightcrawler in X-Men the Animated Series. So what is it that draws you to the way he's portrayed?
Yeah, what I love about Nightcrawler is I feel very strongly that he is a genuine representation of what it means to follow Christ. I think so often, especially in media now, it's very negative portrayals, very disparaging. Oftentimes, if you have an individual reading the Bible, they're the villain, which I heard was the case with The Last of Us, which I don't watch a lot of new TV, so that's not why I didn't watch the show. I just don't watch a lot of new TV. Of course, there's a lot of loud individuals who unfortunately don't represent the majority. And that is, I can understand that it can inspire some of the caricatures and the portrayals. And it's like, as a writer, totally makes sense to me. But just because it makes sense doesn't, mean that it's right or fair. Yeah, I feel that everybody should be treated fairly. However, I also believe in comedy, and we don't have a lot of comedy anymore. And there's certainly stereotypes which are right for comedy, but it's all in the intent. And you can have, I think you can have fun with stereotypes because that is at the bedrock of a lot of comedy and a lot of drama. But it's the intention of the heart. Are you doing it to actually be lighthearted and funny, or are you doing it to be mean spirited? How I closely read this episode because it is one of my favorite verses in the Bible is little children love one another. And it's like, that is at the end of the day, that is it's St. John. He's on his deathbed. He's being carried from town to town, still spreading the good news. And as he's on a stretcher being carried from town to town, what he reiterates most of all is little children love one another. So in my opinion, well, if that is one of the last things that St. John was saying to everybody, it must mean it's awfully important. And Jesus said that all the time, talked about, love one another. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of loving one another these days. And I think it'd be behoovant. And Nightcrawler even, he may not say those words exactly, but that's certainly a lot of what he hints at. And I love his commentary on forgiveness. And we'll talk about that more towards the end of the episode. But I won't take any more of the time. But thank you for letting me share, what I really do appreciate about Nightcrawler.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That was very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, before we get into our episode, let's go into our previously on. So it was which Quicksilver wore it best?
Before we get into it, you could just add one more vote to Evan Peters because he's just so dreamy. So just add one more. Add one more to that.
Okay.
Well, coming in dead last was X-Men Evolution Quicksilver with 5 votes, only 10%. Coming in third, oh good, he's drinking, Evan Peters. So 7 votes, technically now 8 votes with your added vote, Ryan. Only 14%. So it's between X-Men Tass or Aaron Tyler Johnson. Kevin and I both threw in our vote for Aaron Tyler Johnson because, tight clothes. But he did not win. He had 18 votes, 37%. X-Men Task Quicksilver 19, only winning by 1 vote, 39%.
Wow.
People like the OG outfit.
Okay,
I'll admit, Evan Peters Quicksilver, he is a little goofy, but Evan Peters is just so cute. I just had to vote for him because I've had a crush on him since season 1 of American Horror Story. So that's a long time.
Yeah,
long time.
That's very fickle, Ryan, to vote for someone just because you find them sexy. I would never vote for Aaron Tyler Johnson just because I find him sexy. So thank you to everybody who voted. I think that was our biggest vote that we've ever had. So that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I will be sure to click on stories from now on, if for no other reason, to participate in the polls. Before we get into the first scene here, though, and I don't know if this was intentional. However, listeners and you two, I don't know if you're familiar with the Academy Award-winning film Network. Absolutely love the film Network. It was released in 78, I believe it was, and in Network, without turning this into a film studies discussion, the television station that is featured in Network, because it's a whole commentary on broadcast journalism and news, was UBS. And so when I saw the UBC in here, I thought, I wonder if that's a sort of a nod to UBS from Network. But I picked up on that right at the very beginning. I'm like, I think I know what they did there, but could totally be wrong. But that's what I thought.
Yeah. All right. So this one aired. This is Bloodlines. It aired October 26, 1996. And if we were all shaking our heads to the shitty opening, it's because this one actually aired in
it's
season
awful.
5.
Oh, it's terrible. It's just no. It's just like, and I know it's a little wonky with the story date or like story order versus release date, but yeah, that opening, ugh. Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah.
And this was written by Len Yulee, directed by Larry Houston.
Larry Houston.
All right, let's do this. So scene 1, Gloria Hormug. I named her Gloria Hormug. Reports live from UBC, which Ryan pointed out, news. Mutant hate is at an all-time high. We see a mutant being escorted through an angry crowd. The scene changes to Graydon Creed testifying against mutants to Congress. Things be bad.
And I hate using the word like. What I should say, what I guess what I appreciate about his costuming is the armband, because those that have familiar at all with World War II history, it was very common for Nazis to wear the armbands. Interesting in Germany now, unless you're showing documentary footage of actual Nazis, they even if it's a recreation, you cannot, even in a recreation, have the swastika. Very, very strict rules in Germany. But so what they'll do is they will wear the armbands, and I think the armbands will even be red, but they can't show, even in a recreation, cannot show the swastika on the armband. And so when I see the swastika on, not the swastika, the armband on Creed, I appreciate that, because I think it's a respectful nod to what I think was very much inspirational behind Friends of Humanity. And so I like that, and that how it's, without, being, because it's a kids show, without, getting too heavy into history. It's a nice nod to, this is, this group, is representing that very damning, destructive, deplorable ideology. And so I appreciate the connection there between that, even through something as simple as an armband.
Yeah, it's a very nice touch. And do you remember last time we saw Graydon Creed, they threw him into a room with Sabretooth, and they left him there. And I'm like, what did Sabretooth actually do to him? Because he's got all his limbs. Like, he seems sane. I'm like, what did Sabretooth do?
A very stern talking.
He wrote him a strongly worded letter.
Yes. You said in that corner, I will write this letter.
Cool. And then scene 2.
Oh, meanwhile, at a secret location that is not being televised, Graydon Creed enters the forum of the Friends of Humanity. They welcome him in and revere him as their founder. Graydon wants to resume his leadership. The Friends don't like him, though, not very friendly, because he be Sabretooth's son. Graydon begs for a chance to redeem himself. The Friends reveal that Sabretooth isn't his only mutant parent, and throw an envelope at him. Graydon begs for a chance to kill his parents in order to prove his loyalty to the group. Oh my gosh, this it's just like, there's no end to it. It's just like, they are with friends like these, who needs enemies?
Yep.
And go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. I was going to ask a question.
Okay. Were these hoods new? Because it was very Ku Klux Klan to me.
Yeah, I don't recall the hoods from the last time, and they're and I felt very similarly that it's a nod to. So perhaps what the artists are doing here is, we have the armband representing the Nazis and the hood representing the KKK, and so perhaps it's not just coincidence, that it's intentional to make those connections.
Yeah, and I think we haven't really seen them because I think only the highest members of Friends of Humanity wear them, and we really haven't seen them yet into this episode.
Gotcha.
What was your reaction to finding out that Sabretooth's mom is also mutant? Did you have any theories or any ideas as to who this might be?
No. I knew, but had I not known, I never would have guessed it. I think it's a great setup though for the story in this episode, and I mean, and for him as well, because he is the product of the very thing that he is hunting down and exterminating, and for him, I imagine that there is this almost psychological break because he is the very thing that he hates, but also kind of reminds me of I've certainly known individuals like this, and you guys may have too, where they are not there. Let's see. There's thou doth protest too loudly. And so when they're just so adamantly against something that, it's because there's something inside of them that they don't like. And that's why they're against it. And they're just so against it that it's like, that's you. And I think you could easily draw conclusions to those that aren't out yet. But you could really apply that to any number of traits or qualities or backgrounds, and so I think it's really deep stuff here. It's like this is a kid's show. As an adult, I rewatch it and I'm like, wow, this is incredibly thoughtful, and it's broken down to where a kid can process what's going on, and it's always been very it's been very accessible. It's deep topics, but scripted in a very accessible manner.
Yeah. How about you, Kevin? Any thoughts on who the mom was going to be?
I knew Mystique was big in this episode, so I had a fleeting thought that maybe I was like, is it her too? Okay. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that, maybe. And so it hit me, and then I didn't think too much about it. I was more thinking about what are his powers? I'm like, is he going to suddenly latently explode with some kind of power and then be like, ah?
Maybe
so
that's why. Maybe he feels maybe he feels cheated out. He's the product of two mutants, and he has Jack to show for it.
Right.
I'd be angry.
Yeah. Rude.
Yeah.
It's like opposite of Melinda Warren, who was born of two mortals and then got 3 powers. Yeah. So
greedy.
Yeah. All right, scene 3.
Mm-hmm.
A jack-o'-lantern.
It's at Halloween.
Halloween. It sits ominously on the grass outside the manor. Fire hazard much? The candle inside burns.
Was it a black flame candle?
Maybe.
No. We don't mess with that.
That's a whole new story. 3 kids run up to the door to trick or treat. Wolverine opens the door in a beast mask, the most terrifying costume of them all. The kids run screaming. Enter Jubilee. Go figure. Logan doesn't like Halloween. Everyone can take off their costume the next day, but not mutants. See, that's a good point, because it's something that's probably really scarring for them, who's like, this is my life, and they're making fun of it, and they can just lollygag and happy-go-lucky, whatever, and this is my life. So I was like, okay, nice.
Which is funny that he's sticking up for mutants, but he wears a beast mask to scare kids.
I know. It's like, he's a terrible mutant. Blue. Blah. Just then, Nightcrawler shows up, thinking of Blue. Ooh. At the manor.
And a trench coat. It was very with lightning and everything.
My eyes.
With the music. The music is so good right here when he reveals.
Yeah, it's the score is very haunting. We got a little Halloween influence there, and although the X-Men didn't do every holiday we do get this nod to Halloween, and then towards the end of the series we have a great Christmas episode, and so I like how we just incorporate some of what's in our lives, because then it makes it feel like their world is our world.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing they do. Unlike Charmed, who never does a Halloween episode.
No. I know, it's weird, right?
There's 2 Halloween episodes.
I know. I know.
Just no Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
So we have some kind of cameos here.
Come out, wherever you are.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
Cameo.
And to the untrained eye, because I looked on one of the X-Men boards, and they said one of these kids is dressed as Spider-Man. I was like, no, sir, madam, whoever you are. That's Tarantula. That's a Tarantula outfit who is an enemy of Spider-Man. If you look at the little kid versus the Tarantula, it's like almost spot on, except for Tarantula doesn't have a spider on his head. One of the kids is Daredevil in his yellow outfit. And one of them, this could be a stretch, but whatever. He's a red T-Rex, just like Devil Dinosaur. So I think these kids are all Marvel characters.
Wow.
The show does that occasionally when they have like background characters, and you guys have pointed this out, quite often, where they will incorporate, other characters in the background, and it's great for universe building. And so I love how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially at this time in 95, we said, or 96, using Tarantula or Devil Dinosaur is a deep cut, because they were not, even today, Tarantula is not very well known, and Devil Dinosaur is just coming into getting known.
Yeah.
I only know the T-Rex from Jurassic Park and Land Before Time.
Oh.
Sharp Tooth.
Sharp Tooth.
All right. Inside the manor, Nightcrawler regales Wolverine. Now in his full X-Men outfit, he changed
very quick though. Yeah. Well, I think it must be it's a Nightcrawler thing, because when they were in that in the monastery, they were all changing outfits like super fast.
Yeah.
Walk through one doorway and they're out of their ski outfit and into their other thing, or vice versa. They it could be like Flash's uniform costume that's
his
in the
ring,
and he jumps. So maybe it's something like that. But yeah, they change very fast.
I'm sure Wolverine was like, "Oh, Nightcrawler, hi, bub." Just close off right there. So he regales Wolverine, Rogue, and Jubilee with his tail, winky face. He has received a letter at the monastery asking him to come, or else they will hurt his birth mother. Nightcrawler verifies the writing in the letter matches the letter his real mother left him. The writing says, "Come alone, or the consequences will be fatal." Wolverine insists on going with Nightcrawler, but hidingly.
Well, kudos for Nightcrawler holding on to this letter for over 25 years and still able to read that handwriting. I'm just so like he must have had the thing in a Tupperware or Ziploc bag
Or laminated.
Laminated.
I keep it in my wallet, folded up.
So the Blackbird takes off into the night, housing Jubilee, Rogue, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler. I wonder who's flying the thing. Jubilee goes back to talk to Nightcrawler. She feels akin to Nightcrawler since she doesn't know who her parents are. And I like this. It's a great narrative tie-in from a topic we don't revisit that often. That we certainly hear we learn a lot about that in Night of the Sentinels, and so I like how we're looping back into that. Nightcrawler comforts her by saying we're all family under God. Jubilee tells Nightcrawler he should be mad that he was abandoned by his mother. Nightcrawler says he is, but he prays to let the hate go every day. I love this scene here because it it gets to something that I think is so very important, that because the episode, a lot of it deals with forgiveness or lack thereof, and that's a recurring theme through this whole episode. And it was put to me one time, and I don't remember who coined this originally, so I won't. And so I would cite it if I remembered the person, but I do not. But it's unforgiveness is like you drinking poison, hoping that it'll kill the other person or hurt the other person. And even though he doesn't use those exact words, that's what he's talking about in this episode, that by you refusing to forgetting and forgiveness, totally not the same things, by the way. So for him, to when he's talking about forgiveness, when you hold on to unforgiveness, it's like you're putting yourself in a prison to where you're actually allowing this other individual to make a prisoner of you. And that's what he talks about here. And we revisit it in the third act of this episode. But he's laying the piping here with Jubilee. And I like how she doesn't just like automatically be like, oh, okay, well, I forgive everybody. No, it's like, no, she wrestles with it. Same thing with like Wolverine and Rogue. And I like how it's not just this instant, turnabout face, that it's like, no, but you can tell, she's thinking about it. But I like what he talks about there, because it gets down to forgiveness, and it's a great theme to have in here.
Yeah, it is. And they do some cute little things too, like when Jubilee points out that Nightcrawler and Beast are both blue, so they must be related. And Rogue says, that's as likely as me being related to Nightcrawler.
I know.
Face.
It's like, oh, just you wait.
Yeah. And I even it's funny because Wolverine says something about your mom, but he says mum. And I was like, there's the Canadian coming in.
There's a Canadian, yeah.
Which actually fits for Wolverine, so we can't hate on it too much.
He does, because the lab, it's in Canada, isn't it? The lab where he gets the adamantium. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And Wolverine is Canadian.
Wolverine is Canadian.
The
show's in Canada. The show's made in Canada, so it all works out.
Yeah.
All right. The Blackbird lands in a clearing. They have arrived at a dam. Wolverine doesn't like the setup. It seems like a trap.
It's a trap.
Nightcrawler doesn't like involving the others in case the captors hurt his mother. Wolverine uses faith to assuage the Nightcrawler.
I kind of threw it back in his face right here.
Yes. He did, and I really appreciated that, because that's a very real human response, and we get that all through X-Men, or like these are, you could call them mutants. I know that's what they are in X-Men, but they're they do represent an aspect of humanity. So that's X-Men is, I haven't read the comic books, but just in the show, it's an exploration of humanity. And so I like that Wolverine was a very human response. And Nightcrawler, his response was also very human. So I love how our mutants are way more human than many of our human characters in the series.
Yeah, I love that. That's very true. All right, Jubilee goes ahead to play Trick or Treat. The friends of humanity don't even give her candy. Rude. The X-Men play Treat instead, and Nightcrawler ports in and knocks the FOH dude out. Inside the facilita, Wolverine orders Jubilee to create a diversion with him, while Rogue and Nightcrawler find his mum.
Wolverine and Jubilee stumble into a munitions storage. He radios Rogue, who tells him they haven't found shit. As Rogue and Nightcrawler slink about, they hear Nighty's mom. Rogue recognizes the voice, as we all should, but it's too late. Turns out to be, it's a trap. Mystique just wants to lure in her son, Nightcrawler. We also find out that Graydon Creed is Mystique's son. Dun, dun, dun. It's like a soap opera. Speak of the devil, he's watching them from above. It's very right out of a soap opera, though. We've got it's like beyond Maury or on Jerry Springer, be like, and the mom is, and the dad is, and your brothers are, your siblings are, and it's just like wow, it was just like all kinds of interconnected. That's I think made it. I like all those added complexities.
Yeah, very telenovela El Scandalo.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, I know I've said this before, but people used to laugh when I would tell them about X-Men. They're like, this is a soap opera. And like the movies did nothing with that. Nobody was related to anybody. Nobody had accents. Nobody sleeping with each other. Like, come on, this is what we want.
All right, so Mystique reveals that she promised Kurt in exchange for them not to hurt her or Rogue. You know you're my favorite. Like, bitch! Mother of the Year, you are. Great. No, how rude. Nightcrawler ports over to Creed, as in teleports, get it? To subdue him. Kurt tries to remind Graydon that, mutant or not, Mystique is their mother and should not be harmed. Graydon don't care. He's set on redeeming himself to the FOH. When
learning all about Mystique's motherage, it was like she makes Joan Crawford look like Mother Teresa was your mother, and so it's just like.
It's like, Nightcrawler, you are a wire hanger.
Oh my gosh!
Good point, Kevin. They say port in the comic all the time. Like, Nightcrawler, can you port us over there, port us here? But yeah, it's teleport. I use port whenever I write it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind some port wine right about now. So now I feel like I'm craving that.
Although we did do a drunk and high episode on hanging with the Hollowells, and we were a mess. Or no, that was this show. That was Solving.
That was this show.
That was Days of Future Past.
That was one of them in Palm Springs. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, Wolverine and Jubilee are attacked by gas. Wolverine cuts through the wall.
Sorry.
And Jubilee they free themselves and stumble upon Rogue and Mystique.
Back in the control room, Nightcrawler and Graydon continue their fight. Nightcrawler grabs Graydon from the ceiling. Graydon kicks himself loose, and the two fall to the floor. Down below, Jubilee and Wolverine help Rogue and Mystique up. Rogue fills them in on the family dynamics. Wolverine asks about Kurt. Rogue points to Graydon and Kurt fighting up above.
I love it when you go into your announcer voice. Every time you read, you go into your announcer voice. And that's exactly why I asked you to be our announcer on our Christmas special.
Oh, that was so much fun. Next time you do one, please ask me. I had a really good time.
Okay, yeah, I've been meaning to do another one. Maybe it'll actually happen this year.
Up above, Kurt pulls away. Just as Graydon punches at him, he hits the wall and screams like a bitch. Nightcrawler ports back to his friends. The X-Men prepare to escape, but Nightcrawler wants to be sure to save Mystique because he's such a nice person. But the woman is already gone. We see her in the hallway where she has shifted into an unconscious soldier to avoid detection.
I know, and the soldier still stops to try to talk to her. I'm like, she's out.
She's like, "Does my knee?"
All right, the FOH have the X-Men cornered in their little room. Wolverine yells at Rogue to get with the program. She punches through the wall to create a new door. They escape just in time to see Mystique hightailing it. Nightcrawler ports out to catch up to her. Rogue is shot, and Wolverine gets her to softy.
Mystique continues her escape on the dam. Nightcrawler ports ahead of her. Mystique tells Kurt she didn't mean to harm him. Girl, you're getting ready to throw him off of a waterfall. Something's not adding up here. Nightcrawler tells Mystique he only wants the truth and that he has waited so long. Mystique goes into story time.
Oh, yes. Mystique tells Nightcrawler all the ways long ago, among the many women she has been, one of them was married to an Austrian count. Not handsome, but rich.
rich.
I just wanted his money.
Yes.
I was living the life of luxury until you came along, you stupid blue bitch thing. I don't like you. Yeah, the jig was up. They knew I was a mutant, so I had to start all over. You ruined everything. She got rid of Kurt to save herself. Nightcrawler tells her he doesn't hate her, but I'm not one of your fans. But he is sad for her. Nightcrawler tells her he will pray for the strength to forgive her and for her to forgive herself.
Now, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but that moment in which he has baby Nightcrawler totally got beginning at Batman Returns vibes, because that's very much what it felt like when she was casting him into the water, much like Pee Wee Herman and it wasn't Helena Bonham Carter. I forget who the other one was, but when they cast,
She was in Charmed though.
Yeah. Oh,
She was in the mermaid episode. She was the sea witch. She was the mom of Oswald Cobblepot.
there you go. And so it throws him down. But I was like, oh, this is Batman Returns.
Maybe Nightcrawler is happy because he's like, I'm like Moses.
So I do have a retelling for you of this scene, so keep this in your back pocket, because it goes slightly differently in the comics, but very similar, but slightly different. But you have to wait till the end. That's your tease. I'm such a tease.
Ooh, such a tease.
So I know we know how this ends, but in this moment, how do you think Nightcrawler's affection towards Mystique, do you think it changes her? Do you think it affects her?
Well, I think it shows incredible strength on his part, because just imagine if you were told by your birth mother that she was just throwing you away because you were an inconvenience, and she was just telling you any and everything possibly to get you to hate her. And he just shows incredible resilience, but you can even see just through the animation and what he says that it's like it's still difficult, but I really feel for just all the hatred that she's really throwing at him. It must have been very difficult to hear it, and it's I think a testament to his resilience, because just his story is one of resilience, just from what we learned about him in the previous episode and learning about him now. But I think it's very, very, I'm very sad for her too, because she is just always a very troubled, unhappy person. And I like how we play around more with that in X-Men First Class. Is it? I can't remember which movie we learn a little bit more about her. But I like how we play that we get to know kind of why she is the way she is.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have anything to add, sir?
For like what I thought about her, I mean, it was hard because I feel like she was taken off guard a little bit by his response, because she was trying to get him to hate her and provoke him into fighting, and it's almost like when you just shower the bully with kindness, like, I don't know how to respond. I can't fight back because you're not fighting me, and I am lost for words. So it's kind of really putting her in a position where she's like, I am stuck here, which is kind of funny.
Because that's kind of her power, is to piss people off and get them to get messy. But he's like, I'm not going to get messy.
Yep. I'm not giving you power.
He's just so caring. Yeah. Back at the facility, Rogue flies off to get the helicopter's attention while Wolverine strikes from the ground. The helicopter shoots down another as Rogue takes down another one. That's a confusing way to say that, but I said it. It's out there. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Nightcrawler and Mystique continue their discussion. Graydon flies over in a copter and shoots at Nightcrawler, but Mystique jumps in the way. she awkwardly says, prayer, and then falls. Nightcrawler ports away as Graydon shoots a missile, which explodies the dam and shoots water down on the helicopter, crashing it.
Yeah, it was weird because she started a sentence. She's like, I'm not worthy of your... And then, like 3 minutes later, prayer.
It was odd delivery.
Yeah.
So down below, Nightcrawler searches the river for any sign of Mystique. Rogue flies by overhead and pulls a gasping Nightcrawler from the water a little ways away. Wolverine and Jubilee look over the scene. Jubes be mad that the FOH was only arrested for the dam and not for attacking the mutants. Further up the river, Nightcrawler tells Rogue he can't fathom why Mystique sacrificed herself for him, and Mystique pops up behind him. She cries at her sacrifice and wanders off.
Wow.
So what I like about this is it shows how complex Mystique really is. That there is kind of like, use a Darth Vader analogy. There is some good in her, and I like how that it gets hinted at occasionally, and we see a little glimpse of that here, where she hasn't completely lost touch of her humanity, and. But this isn't the first time. But I think this is one of the best times that we see that in Mystique's character.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to add to that more, but I'm saving it for one of our segments. But I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. I love Mystique in this episode.
It's very similar to our Prue in the Charmed comics right now. We talked about that.
Yes. So. Out today, Words of the Witches.
Yeah. All right. The last scene. Graydon wakes up bound, in a helicopter, while also wearing a parachute. The FOH has retrieved him. They tell him, your plan failed miserably. He's like, I can change. And then they push Creed out of the helicopter. He parachutes in at Sabretooth's home. Ooh, penance for his crimes. And then Sabretooth walks out. He's like, well, I'm buff. And there's my son. Let's talk.
Yeah.
But he says something like, he calls himself daddy, and that really came in on
I was like, He's already bound.
We said earlier, like, we don't know exactly what Sabretooth did to Graydon because he's not physically harmed, and then he calls himself daddy, so I'm getting a picture here, and I don't like it.
He's like, look who's home.
Well, he was already bound, arriving, so half the work is done.
I know.
Exactly. So before we get into like our rankings and our MXP and all that, I do have some notes here for both of you.
Yes.
So at least for this first series, I'm not speaking X-Men 97, of course, because we don't know. But this is the final appearance of Sabretooth, Mystique, Nightcrawler, and Graydon Creed in the cartoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and here's your long journey of Mystique being revealed as Nightcrawler's mother. So all the way back in X-Men 142, actually, I believe in the 80s, this is when it was first hinted at, because Mystique tells Nightcrawler that you should ask your adoptive mother, Marguerite Zardos, about her connection to me sometime. So that got everybody speculating that, is Mystique the real mom? She's blue. She's speculating there's a connection. So that got the ball rolling. But it didn't come out until 1994 in X-Men Unlimited number 4 that she is, in fact, his mother. Also in X-Men Unlimited 4, it's kind of similar to this episode. It starts off with Mystique killing a high-ranking government official, which, of course, we didn't see, but he was secretly in Friends of Humanity. And then the way Graydon finds out is I think Mystique had said something about being his mom, so he didn't want to believe it. So he sent a private investigator out to figure out, is this true or not? And the investigator comes back and he's like, Oh, bitch. It's true. Not only that, bitch, you have a brother. And then when Graydon is shown that his brother is Nightcrawler, he flips his shit. He like kills the investigator. He threatens the like princess that he's living with. Like he does not want anybody to know that Nightcrawler is his brother. So I found that interesting that he's the one who uncovered everything.
Yeah.
And then Forge, who at this point is working with the government, he's part of X Factor, like mutant government relations. He actually knows the secret. He knows that Nightcrawler's Mystique's son. He knows Rogue is the adoptive daughter. So he sends Nightcrawler and Rogue to go look into this whole thing because he wants them to find out that Mystique is their mom. Because Forge and Mystique had a friendship for a little while. She was actually part of Freedom Force, trying to be good, and Forge really liked Mystique this way, so he was really like gunning for, I want her to repent her old ways, so maybe by finding out her kids are alive, then maybe she'll turn back to the light side of the Force, Ryan. And then in 2003, this is when it was finally uncovered who Nightcrawler's dad is. It gets so soap opera-y. So Mystique this is when she's being the heiress with the Baron in, where do we say?
Austria?
In Austria. So it turns out the Baron is impotent. He can't produce children, but he really wants an heir. So he starts having Mystique, disguised as this woman, sleep with random men so that she could get pregnant with his child. So one of the men he happens to introduce her to is his business partner, who is actually Azazel in disguise.
It's always the business partner.
It's always the business partner. The problem is she falls in love with Azazel. She finds out she's pregnant, and she goes a little crazy. She's like, I don't want to be with the Baron. I want to be with Azazel. So she kills the Baron. She has the baby, which is Nightcrawler. He's blue. And now that she's killed their leader, and she's killed their leader, she has this crazy baby, so everybody wants to kill her. So she's running, and she accidentally lets her guard down and shows them that she's Mystique. So now they know for sure she's a mutant. They want to kill her. So she quickly gets out of sight, and she comes back as a man holding Nightcrawler. And she's like, I killed the woman. I threw her over the edge. The bitch is dead. And they're like, well, you also have to get rid of her baby. So the guy's like, all right. So he throws the baby. So it's actually Mystique as a man who throws Nightcrawler into the river to save herself.
Very dark.
Oh my goodness.
Face says everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And this is like the second version, right? Because wasn't Destiny supposed to be somebody, the mom of somebody?
No. Her story was separate.
Okay.
It was just her relative that was killed by Graydon Creed.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
Well, it's a good thing they were upstream from that monastery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your history lesson. So what do we think of this episode? Extreme, expected, or X out?
Oh, I vote extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think extreme. I'm not sure if you were going to say anything else. But yeah, I'm going to say extreme. It's very timely, very relevant, very emotional. So lots of good things.
Yeah, I said extreme. And like Graydon Creed is the character I love to hate because he's so real. Like we've seen so many politicians like Graydon Creed that it's just sad that he's still relevant today. We still haven't moved past falling for this kind of person.
Yeah, you would think that kids watching this, 30 years ago at this point would be like, oh, I don't want to be like that. But here we are 30 years later, and it is, because we don't learn from history, it repeats itself. And it's just like how, and it was because it was, Fox Kids. I mean, a lot of kids would have been watching the show. And yet, I think a lot of the lessons that the show teaches have just been lost. So, perhaps, generation watching it now, perhaps for the first time, maybe, when they are older, will integrate some of these lessons that the show teaches. I love shows that have this moral and ethical center. I see it in X-Men the Animated Series. I'm a big Star Trek fan, more than Star Wars. I'm sorry, Sean, but I'm a big Star Trek, TNG and Voyager, and especially TNG. So many lessons on what it means to be human, and so it's like please, employ these lessons that these shows have taught you into your life. And I think things, may not be perfect, because I don't think they ever can be, but it's the pursuit that's the most meaningful. They could certainly be a bit better off.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in this generation have learned from these shows. It's just that a lot of the families too are brainwashing them to think otherwise. So I guess it depends on where you live and who your families are, because I think a lot of us have been raised to be more liberal and appreciative of everybody, but it's clouded by all the weirdness.
Yeah, it's true. Who would we say is the MXP, most excellent player?
See, it'd be very easy to say Nightcrawler, but everything he does at this point is expected of him. So I don't think he does anything that's truly extreme, despite the fact that she's kind of a bit, she's a royal bitch through the whole thing until the very end. I'm going to go with Mystique, because she is the only one who did something radically different than you would have expected from her. So I'm there at the very end with prayers, and so I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Mystique for the most excellent player in this episode.
Okay,
she had an arc. She had a definitely noticeable change. That's true. Yeah. Should I go?
I was going to ask you.
Okay. For me, as much as I love Nightcrawler, and I believe that he's such a upstanding person, I think he was a little preachy this one. Like his last episode, I thought he treaded the line very carefully, and it was very inclusive. This one seemed like he was more adding his beliefs to people's beliefs, so a little bit preacher than normal. So I didn't appreciate that as much, even though I know it's coming from a good place. So I'm not mad at that part. But I'm going to say Rogue, because it was all the little things she was doing throughout this entire episode. She was really understanding everybody. She was punching through the wall. She was saving people from the river. She was, getting rid of the helicopters. So all these little things allowed them to make it out. So, yeah.
True. And I went with the easy. I said Nightcrawler. Because I feel Mystique wouldn't have had her arc if he didn't show her compassion. Yeah. So that's why I gave it to him.
Yeah.
But I do like Mystique too. I do like Rogue. They're all valid answers. How about the X Factor? What stood out as something very X-Men, or just your favorite part?
I think I mentioned it earlier, so I won't, kind of belabor the moment too much. But Nightcrawler's lessons on forgiveness and the importance of not harboring unforgiveness, and so that's my favorite moment from the episode, because that's something we can take away with us, and employ it in our everyday lives.
Mm-hmm. Kevin?
I'm going to say fighting through your instinctual reactions. Because, or just maybe fighting through the expected. Because, Nightcrawler, we know his character. We know this is expected of him, but I think Mystique was shocked by it. And then we have Graydon, who's, really against it, but there's something in him that he's afraid of. So it's like everyone's trauma and turmoil is really coming to the light here. And I think that's something that's very common in X-Men. So I like that.
I would say what really hit me with this episode is their treatment of Mystique, because it's very much like hurt people hurting people. She's just ready to always be the bad guy because that's what everybody paints her as. So that's why, to me, the Nightcrawler showing her forgiveness, showing her that he doesn't hate her, is what changes her. Because for once, somebody understands her, somebody forgives her, somebody's nice to her. And that's very much, I think, how Mystique shows herself in the comics. She's always doing the wrong thing for the right reason. Like, for example, when she thinks that Gambit isn't good enough for Rogue, so she decides to turn into an attractive woman to sleep with him to show that he's a jerk. I'm like, there's better ways to go about that Mystique. So I just think she's
very impulsive a lot of times.
Yeah. And it's like Ryan said, they wrote her in a way that's easy for kids to understand, but as an adult, you really get a different side of her, a different understanding.
Yeah.
All right. So this question's a little weird this week. Go with me here. I just get such a weird image in my mind when I think about Mystique and Sabretooth having sex. So I'm wondering, who do you think Mystique shifted into while conceiving Graydon with Sabretooth?
Wolverine.
I love that. Really got him going.
There you go.
Oh no, that is good. There will be a lot of creative answers.
Yeah. So this will be a write your own answer in, and we'll read your answers on next episode. I'm excited to see what people come up with, and I like the Wolverine answer already. I don't know one better than that. All right, Kevin. So your next episode is The Lotus and the Steel. What do you think that's about? Don't make that face.
Isn't it the one with Jennifer Coolidge?
I don't know.
The White Lotus.
I don't know. It sounds like an Avatar: The Last Airbender episode. I don't know. I don't know. Is there somebody? Is Yuriko coming back? I don't know.
Oh.
I'm completely out of blindsided by this one. I don't know.
It is funny because you kind of hit on it. It is a very Japan episode. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's a character who's very connected to Japanese culture. Winky face.
Yeah. I mean, Jubilee maybe, but she's not Japanese. She's Korean, isn't she?
I think she's Chinese American.
Oh, Chinese. You're right, Chinese.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. Well, Ryan, if you want people to find you, where should they do it?
Sure. You can find me at 1944. No, that's actually, if you're cute and you're single, guys, I will totally give you my address. But you can hang out. You can hang out with me on Twitter at RLTerry1. I'm on Letterboxd at letterboxd.com/RLTerry. You can listen to Forza Crowd, a couple of seasons on all your major podcasters at Forza Crowd, just like it sounds. And I listen to the show there. Visit my blog, rlterryrealview.com. That's real with 2 E's. Or if you happen to be in Tampa or Orlando and you just is like, gee, this guy sounds fun, I want to hang out with him. Totally hit me up, and I will probably meet you in the parks, and we can hang out there too.
Yeah, I did that once.
All right.
Yes, you did. About a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Kevin?
Yeah. You can follow my personal Instagram at KGZ87, where it's naked and stuff. It's fine. And then
there's stories.
You can follow the stories. And there's if you're really nasty, you can be my close friends. Ooh. But yeah, also you can find me and Sean on the podcast Words of the Witches, where we're right into some real crazy things happening in season 10. Oh, it's exciting. It's going to get good.
Ooh, it's already so good.
I know.
And you can find me on the marvelous galaxy of Disney or my latest venture, magicaljourneys.com, where we can set you up with your travel plans at no extra cost to you. We're actually right now setting up somebody to go to Hawaii and then also Disneyland. Our site is blowing up, so just let us know what you
very
need.
cool.
We'll help you plan your vacation at no extra cost.
Oh, that sounds great. I may take advantage of the service when I'm planning my next vacation.
Yay! Thank
Yay.
you. All right, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with the Lotus and the Steel.
Mm.